from our studio in Southern California, the hotbed of car culture, covering all things automotive. Welcome to In the Garage with Dennis. Here's your host, Dennis Pitzenbarger.
Welcome to the Garage with Dennis. We've got a great program for me personally this week because I finally get to show you what makes me a crazy car nut. Well, before we get started, I definitely want to thank our sponsors, Craftsman, Made to Make, and of course, Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. Now, where we're at is a place called ProTech. It's a friend of mine's shop, Mike Christopherson and Bob Westcott, both guys who are also dirt late model drivers. But I have a little story behind all this. Now, Mike Christopherson is my friend, but I also call him Mr. Hendricks because, like so many people out there, not everybody owns a race car. Well, Mike owns the number 94 car, and he's been letting me drive it for a few years. But then there's the other side of the coin, Bob Westcott, my nemesis, the guy who always finishes first. Now, I got to tell you, one of the things that makes me crazy is watching him take the checkered flag. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes of what it takes to prep this car, get it ready to go for the racetrack, and see in the season finale this week if we can put him down once and for all. I don't know, maybe I've got a trick up my sleeve. I know he's always got the horsepower. But for now, let's get this thing prepped and ready for the track. Well, now that we've got the 94 car in the wash bay, and I do call him my nemesis, but Bob's also taught me a lot about prepping these cars. And he taught me one of the most important things was a clean car is a fast race car. I'm gonna pull the fenders and the hood off of it. We'll get it ready for when we're gonna boil the nozzles for the fuel injection, but I gotta get it up on some jack stands and get it simple greened and cleaned inside and out. That means one thing, it's time for me to go to work. Well, what does it mean to prep the cars is everything. It's been ground into my head that a clean race car is a fast race car. For everything in the car to work correctly, the suspension to absorb and then transfer the power onto the ground, everything has to work in unison. All the pivot points need to be greased. Everything needs to be nut and bolted, gone through the car. And of course, the little maintenance things on the fuel injection is a big deal. The nozzles and whatnot always need to be cleaned and boiled. That's one of the things that is the strength of my particular car that I drive is I do all of this maintenance each and every week. It's probably overkill, but the difference is I finished every lap this year. And I've done it, unfortunately, without a checkered flag in front of me, but maybe we can cure that.
Well, I was drag racing for quite a while when I was in the service and after I got out of the service, but it kind of got to be a boring thing because it's just over too quick. And then I bumped into some guys and started going to the dirt track with them, and my older brother dirt track raced, so that's kind of what led me to it.
I got into dirt track racing by having a chance to drive another friend of mine's Pro 4 car, a smaller kind of car-based dirt track car, and it kind of built into something where I knew that I wanted to take the next step into something like a WRS car. Well, I got involved racing with the WRS by kind of commingling with those Pro 4 guys. They had a chance to kind of bring the two series together, and they just kind of decided to go separate ways. One was, as I said, a car that was more passenger car based. These are purpose-built race cars. And I just wanted to take a step to a car that was really a truly a purpose-built race car.
Well, I had kind of gotten out of V8 late model racing due to the cost and time constraints for the family, and started hanging out with the Pro 4 West guys and driving their cars a little bit. Red Van Dyne was the president at the time. And so they were sort of bored with their original platform, everybody that was the new guard, not the old guard, obviously. So we decided to modify the rules and come out with what is now our Western Racing Series late model light platform.
Well, the WRS is the Western Racing Series. We are a series of cars that are considered late model lights. They're anywhere from about 80 to 90% as big as a regular late model car. We do run them roofless. And obviously the biggest difference is that we run 4-cylinder engines. But for the most part, there is exactly what you see go around Knoxville or Eldora. The difference is we're just a little bit smaller, but not quite as fast.
The first two cars we built were Brent's 17 car and my original 93 car. And they were swing arm cars with, you know, panhard bars and straight panhard bars on them, not J bars. And they pretty much have stayed the same. I've stuck with the platform because it works.
Well, the guys at ProTech, without them, I wouldn't have taken the step into the WRS. The funny part was, is they took my old Pro 4 car, Bob especially, had a chance to really let me tune the suspension, go through the car, and make it work the way it was supposed to work. And I was catching so many RPMs, I actually blew up my motor that weekend. So, I mean, without them, I would know, 80% less about racing. Well, the particular car's specs do vary a little bit. The 94 car that I run is around 1,615 pounds wet. It is powered by a 2.2 liter Ecotec engine that's using a Hillborn mechanical fuel injection, along with a BMW E30 throttle body off a little BMW 3 Series. Burt transmission, direct drive, winner's rear end, about a 95-inch wheelbase, and like I said, they're just take more of an advantage of being light rather than just overpowering the car.
Racing with Dennis is a lot of fun. It's good because I see him grow and get better as a driver all the time. He drives clean for the most part, a little sideways every now and again, but yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Racing with a guy like Bob, well, we give each other a lot of crap, is the bottom line. He has tenfold the amount of experience that I have behind the wheel of a late model. He certainly has the right equipment. His current car, the 93, is really kind of what we all wish we had. He built the car as his dream car. He was one of the originators, the founders of the WRS. He raced a car that was very similar to the 94 for years, except for with BMW power. And one of the things that is great about Bob is he's taught me so much about car setup, about how to make the car go through the corners fast. It scares poor Mike, the owner of the car, to watch me go to the high side. But it's one of those things that's an evolution of my driving skills, along with him teaching me stuff. Now, there's a frustrating side that I like to give him crap about, is he's got a lot of motor in that car. And I've been able to keep up with him, for a few laps, but I'm yet to concede whether it's power or skill that he's beating me with. But for now, I just have to kind of sit back and figure out how to make myself faster rather than worry about what he's doing.
I expect the results to come in on Saturday night with the 3 ProTech FabTech cars in the top 3 spots, as usual. Mike's going to be tougher this week. It's going to be a fight for second.
As we do some more of the maintenance underneath the 94 car, I do want to make mention of Craftsman tools. Now, we do actually use Craftsman tools to build these cars and maintain them. One of the things that's great is you got these little hex key kits. I mean, it's this or it's the wrenches to pull the fuel filter off. Either way, you can find any tool you need at craftsman.com. Also, make sure and be part of the Craftsman Club. You can be a member just like me, befriend me on their club, and get their newsletters about what we're doing right here with the Garage with Dennis. Until then, you got to get out of here. I got maintenance to do. The thing about it is crazy is the amount of technology that's wrapped up. I mean, I'm literally going to be able to put the hitch right where you want it. And if you're doing any kind of towing, whether it's a guy like me just towing a race car, or you got a boat or trailer, utility, whatever it is, I mean, it's just amazing what they can wrap into a car. The 3-dimensional overview is amazing, on top of being able to switch. Now, if you want, you can even go to a curb mode. But for us, we're going to need the 3-dimensional because I want to make sure not hit anything when I'm in the shop. Let's see if I can pull this off, one-hit wonder style. Boom. All right, that's going to wrap up this part of the episode in the Garage with Dennis, exploring my little craziness at the racetrack. We've got the number 94 on the trailer. It's all ratcheted down and we're ready to go to the track. But before we take off, I want to make mention of my tow vehicle. Nissan supplied me with their brand new 2014 Pathfinder, and I gotta tell you, this is something that is not always hard to do, combining real sport utility everyday use with luxury, and they've done it in this new Pathfinder. Heated steering wheel, heated seats, moonroof, and every kind of connectivity you can imagine for the front seat passengers, and twin DVD screens in the Platinum Edition for the kids in the back to keep them happy. Room, comfort, and the power to tow this little race car or a boat or utility trailer, whatever you'd want to hook to it. Now, before we take off and get to the racetrack, I gotta make mention of one of our sponsors, Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. It's what I use in this race car each and every race. Check them out at royalpurple.com. But now it's time to get to the racetrack.
Flash flooding and powerful rain are battering the Pacific Northwest.
And this is going to move through.
That's right, sometimes I call Bob Westcott my nemesis. Well, the nemesis of all dirt track drivers is rain. Now, it's not particularly raining on us right now, but for the last 2 days, it's been pouring down rain in the Pacific Northwest. And when I should be doing this, instead, I'm standing out here in front of the ProTech shop trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Now, we do have a contingency plan. There's a race next weekend at St. Helens or River City Speedway. So put your hands together and have a moment of silence and pray that we still get a chance to go racing. That's right, the Oregon Sunshine's come out and given us a chance to actually race. Now we're here at River City Speedway like we said, and thanks to Dan and everybody out here in St. Helens for giving us a chance to run not only our season finale, but also the Run What You Brung. And we got the car out, the trailer, all our stuff is out for all our prizes. All we gotta do now is get ready, get our gear ready, and it's time to go to qualifying. So here's the skinny. Second qualifying for the modifieds. I got a little loose. I was just not getting in the corner right where I wanted it to. I was running a 14.7 and another 14.6, I believe. Bob went out and rolled, man. He ran a 13.7, a couple of them. So he's certainly faster as the night's getting better. So the track's looking good. The bottom line is, when we get out and race, we're gonna see what happens. I feel confident with the car. The car feels good. It's just a matter of getting out there and getting it done. Race for me. For some reason, the car wanted to dump truck on me, or it had a lot of understeer and wanted to push through the corners. I feel bad. I got kind of up in front of Bob really bad there. Had to let off, let him go by. Got my composure. I'm going to make an adjustment to the car. I'm going to put a few turns in the left rear, try to free the car up a little, get it let to rotate, a little more power on the ground. The pull bar is making a big difference. We made that adjustment in the shop. So we're going to do a little adjustment to the car. We'll get ready for the dash. There's a cardinal sin. One thing you never want to do is run out of fuel. So a little quick fuel check on the old ruler. And I got about 6 inches of fuel in the tank. So I'll be fine for the dash. Dash is only 4 laps. We'll come back, we'll fill it to the brim for that 40-lap main. See what happens.
Hey, I've got one.
Is it still the high speed? Here's what's going on. The nice thing is, everybody tries to help each other out. I mean, that's kind of the deal behind the WRS. I mean, whatever we can do to help each other's cars get on the track and race. And unfortunately, though we love the 16 card, Jason's been fighting the demons that were left from the previous owner. Get it? All right, let's go watch some racing. Over here. to say thanks mostly to the crowd that comes out to River City Speedway each and every weekend. We do have some prizes that we want to give away, so make sure and listen up for the announcers up here to give away. We definitely want to thank Royal Purple, Gum Out. We got some stuff in the crowd. And just thanks that I finally got to beat Bob Westcott. Where are you, Bob?
Chipping away, Bob, chipping away.
I was right, got my trophy, and I'm all excited about that. But the real deal is our 25-lap main to wrap up the 2013 series for the WRS, the Western Racing Series. After that, we're going to get ready for the Run What You Brung. We're going to see what happens. I'm worried I got enough fuel. It's time to go racing. Here we are, the end of the main event, the 25-lap season finale for the WRS Western Racing Series, and yes, it's true. Once again, I finished second to Bob Westcott. Great bunch of guys racing tonight. We had a great group of cars, really competitive, and through the 25 laps, I put myself in a position where I could have won. Once again, Bob got out in front of me. I didn't let him get more than about a half a lap out in front of me, but then after the main event, we switched to the Run What You Brung, and sometimes shit happens. And
Right, it does.
and
Look at this.
well, unfortunately, you know, I've never ran one of the Run What You Brung. Bob warned me about what I might be getting myself into, but we had a good time. It was great racing. Definitely a difference in the way the lines and the modifieds run. There was a couple V8 late models out there that were fun to race with too. But you know, from your perspective, how would you say that we really truly closed the 2013 WRS series?
Oh, I think we closed it great. I was happy with the outcome, and you know, again, all the guys ran good. Nolan, his first time in the 7 car, I was just proud as could be of him. I mean, I thought he was maybe had a chance to win that open comp, you know, Run What You Brung deal.
Oh, he was in front for several laps.
Yeah, he was doing a great job, and so yeah, I think it turned out good. We came home pretty much in one piece.
Yeah.
You know, all things considered. So yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, we had a great time. In a second, we're gonna run up and grab Bob's season-ending main event trophy. Get out of here. You go get your trophies. Mike Christopherson, my Mr. Hendricks, once again, your Paul Menard took the best equipment and finished second. But don't worry, buddy. It's all just cosmetic. All right, as you can see, we're back in the shop. It's Monday, and it's what to do after you go out on the race weekend. You assess what's going on with your car. And I found out that there's at least 3 rub marks on this thing from where modifieds maybe needed to get out of my way. But we had a great night of racing. But as far as the show is concerned, we want to thank you for coming by and spending some time with the Garage with Dennis. We certainly want to thank Craftsman, Made to Make, and Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. Until the season 2014 comes, this little baby's going to go into mothballs. We'll make it just that much better. We'll see you in 2014.